Oh, here, Joe. We're here. We're
We
here.
live?
Yeah,
We hot?
we are. Uh, we are. I didn't have my volume on tonight. I got the Phillies on. I thought you'd be proud of me. The
I
Phillies
am
are
proud of you.
the Phillies are on. Phillies and Mets. So people from Philly, you were telling me that they like the Mets is like the hated team of New York. Is it
Yeah,
why isn't it the Yankees?
because the Yankees are they're not in our division.
Oh, see,
Yeah, NL East is Atlanta, Miami, and New York. So there's a lot of we get when the Mets are in town. We get a lot of Mets fans because it's close. It's a 2 hour, maybe over 2 hour train ride. From Queens. But yeah, I mean it's especially when the Phillies suck. We get a lot of Mets fans, and it sucks going to the games. See,
there's a huge crowd there tonight. What's up,
well,
John?
what
What is up,
Well,
Tim?
I mean, what would you rather pay? Like $500 for a ticket as opposed to like $100 for a ticket? Like I'd rather take the 2 hour probably train ride myself too
So
to go see my team play.
yeah, because they're in New York tonight, right?
Yeah.
It's a 2 hour train ride. That's not bad.
Uh, yeah. So actually, we're going to New York actually in a couple of weeks for like a two day trip, and like from my house to the train station is about an hour, and then from the train station to Penn Station, which is like underneath the Madison Square Garden, is another hour train ride. So it's about for me about 2 hour travel time. If I go to Philly and you go to the 30th Street station, it's basically a 2 hour train ride,
Jeez.
and it's a 2 hour train ride if you were going to DC too. So we get a lot of DC people here too for like national games, or we get a lot of people go down to national games as well, or the I can't say the Washington football
The,
team,
what
you
is it?
know,
The Commanders.
the Commanders.
What's up, Bill? What's up, Chat Vol? Go Braves! Look, Joe and I were talking about this before we hit the go livey button, but I am so into college sports that
Mm.
professional sports, especially professional baseball, even the NBA is like another language to me. I'm all in on college football, basketball, baseball. I mean, heck, even college golf and college track and field and cross country. But when it comes to the pro sports, just not my thing. It's too hard to keep up with the college sports all day on Saturday and then come back on Sunday, especially during football season, and keep up with everything else. It's you can only do so much for crying out loud.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's a different atmosphere where you live. I mean, it's more college sports heavy, and then than pro. But I don't know. It is each to its own. I mean, every you grow up where you grew up, and that's what you root for. If I moved away to somewhere else, I would still raise my kids as a Philly sports fan.
I mean, Joe was asking how far away the University of Arkansas is from me. It's right down the street. I've mentioned before that the Walmart home office is right down the street. So this weekend we have NCAA regional baseball is in town. We're hosting a regional this weekend, and if we win this weekend, we'll be hosting Supers next weekend. But on top of that, this weekend is the Walmart shareholders meeting. And I don't know if you know what that means, but it means people from all over the globe travel to Fayetteville, Arkansas, and Northwest Arkansas for the Walmart shareholders meeting. I mean, you have them come from everywhere. It is ridiculous. Huge, big name music acts are in town, celebrities, movie stars. They usually have some high profile MC for the event. It is really a huge deal. And that's going on this weekend. My wife was asking me, why are there so many police officers out? Well, you got regionals. It was just Memorial Day weekend. And you've got Walmart shareholders cranking up. So it's going to be a mess in Northwest Arkansas over the next week or so. But it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
And with college baseball in town, I mean, that just makes it even better. I mean, that is, without pro sports teams, we have a minor league team. That's all we've got. And I was telling Joe, we've been to the College World Series 3 of the last 4 years, so it's not like we're every once in a while good. I think it's 3 of the last 4. We're good often. I mean, it's a big thing here. 13 seconds, Joe. 13 seconds. 10.
Do you go to any? Do you go to any football games?
I went to two last year. I went to the Alabama when Alabama was in town. Then I went to the Ole Miss one over Thanksgiving break. Joe, guess what? It's time to go. It is time to go. Is the pre-scalp even long enough, Joe? Is the pre-scalp even long enough, or should we make it just a pinch longer before we jump into the Budget Woodard Show? You know,
we got a lot of winning tonight. So
all I do is win. Hey, do you ever listen to the Bobby Bones Show? You know who Bobby Bones is?
Is he a skeleton?
A skeleton. My twin brother's trying to call me. Doesn't he freaking know that we are live for the Budget Woodard Show on Tuesday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 Central? Hey, what's up, everyone in the chat? See some familiar faces. I hope we see some new ones tonight. You know, we're here every Tuesday at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Except for next Tuesday night, okay? Next Tuesday night, we're taking a break to unwind. I just finished up my school year today, and I need...
You're unwinding. I'm going to be sitting on my ass.
We're going to take a week to just kind of separate and unwind for a short break, but maybe that becomes our thing, Joe. Maybe we have, wink wink, our deal on the last Tuesday night of the month, and then the first Tuesday of the month we take a recess for 1 week. I don't know. We'll figure that out, but just know that we're not going to be here next Tuesday, okay? Not here next Tuesday. Joe,
what happened today in history, right?
Yeah, what happened? What happened? I don't even remember what happened today, but tell me what happened a long time ago.
So two interesting things. I try to narrow it down to one, but these two are pretty cool. So back in 1911, what happened yesterday, or actually what was it, 2 days ago, was the Indianapolis 500. So the first one took place today in 1911. The race was obviously in Indianapolis, Indiana, and it was won by some person named Ray Heron.
Oh, Ray! I know Ray.
Everybody knows Ray, right?
Ray was a good fella, good man.
The race was up 6 hours and 42 minutes.
Jesus, criminy Christmas! There's a huge wreck yesterday. What was it? Yesterday or Saturday?
Sunday. Right?
Sunday. What? Oh, yeah. 3 day week.
Sunday,
3 day holiday weekends jacked me up. Yes, it was Sunday.
Yeah,
Sunday morning. I got up to turn the local news on, and I was like, what is this? And didn't have my morning coffee on Sunday with the local newscast.
And in 1922, the Lincoln Memorial was dedicated in Washington, D.C. for obviously 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, Abe, honest Abe. He was a good man, too. Good man. Hey, Tim, you're welcome, man. I hope you found that helpful. The drag mat is a game changer. I went into one of my buddies owns a car like service shop. They do air conditioner repairs, oil changes, all that kind of stuff. And he's been hitting me up and texting me because he's been sand leveling his yard. And I walked in today and I was like, "Hey, what's up, sand man?" He found out. So he did one round of it earlier this spring, and he's just got a big lawn, so he kind of chunked it up and did sections at a time. He said he's gone through like 16 tons of sand and finally got to borrow one of his buddy's little tractors, I don't know what it was, but he found out real fast that the gung-ho-ness and excitement of it and having fun ends really quickly in that job because it's been really pleasant here. Temperatures have only been in the upper 70s, low 80s, but when you're dumping sand all over your lawn and dragging a drag mat or pushing a rake, it might as well be 100 because it is back-breaking, hot, sweaty work. So, Tim, I hope you had a good project. I hope those helped you to a certain extent. Hey, it's the system I like to use, and I'm going to use it again this summer.
And I think you're honestly one of the only ones that I've seen on YouTube use a drag mat. I mean, everyone, they'll use the lawn level or they'll use the drag behind lawn level. I don't see anybody use a drag mat.
It's really cool. Like, so back when I was on Facebook, I'm not on Facebook anymore. We were down visiting my wife's family just to the north of Dallas. And I thought, okay, I was in the market for a drag mat. I was trying to find a used one. Stop me, Joe, if I've told this story.
They're expensive.
They're really expensive. So I got on the Facebook marketplace and like 35, 40 minutes down the road, a guy had like taken over some like sports field or something, and he had like 5 or 6 brand new drag mats still wrapped up in the plastic,
Wow.
and he was selling them for like $35, $30 or something like that. I made the 35, 40-minute trip down the street because I knew there's no way I'm ever going to get one that cheap. So it was worth every penny. Now the odds of you getting that lucky, not in your favor, but glad I got it.
A long time ago, I stumbled upon, probably like 2 years ago, I stumbled upon a
What's up, Em?
I stumbled upon a YouTube channel called Budget Lawns. And
hated that SOB, didn't you? What a prick.
Yeah, and I watched his lawn loot video and the drag mat. That's actually, I got the idea of the drag mat as well from your videos.
It's great. I'm going to have to try something new.
I knew you before I knew you.
And I saw you on there long before, raising hell.
My videos, I go back, every once in a while I watch like my first couple videos and I'm just like,
wow. It's terrible, isn't it? Mine too. I'm not saying that just about you. I'm talking about me as well. No,
this is a bag of fertilizer. This is what's in the bag of fertilizer.
It's terrible.
It's horrible.
The drag mat, I'm gonna have to try something new with it because I'm 6 foot, like right at 6 feet tall. So yeah, it was Tim. So when I drag it behind me, I don't get a lot of the surface area of the drag mat, like actually on the ground. And a lot of people say, well, you need to add like a rope extension. I'm going to try that, but that really makes it hard to make turns and stuff because you're trying to make pretty tight turns and do like figure eights and all this kind of stuff. My backyard now is really long, so I might be able to go passes down and back a lot easier if I use a longer rope. So I'm gonna have to play with it, but putting like a cinder block or something on it to kind of weight it down a little bit has really made a huge difference.
Grass Speed, I got a lawn level rake if you want one. And it's a pretty German built one. It's pretty nice.
I loaned that drag mat out to, I gotta tell you this, man. I highly doubt he's watching, but I loaned that drag mat out to one guy that was in my neighborhood. Our wives were friends, and our 2 girls were around the same age. And I'm telling you, you see people get bit by the lawn care bug. I've never seen somebody get bit by it as bad as this guy. He's the guy that tried to tell me that he lets his Bermuda grow longer because it makes it fill in better that way and it gets thicker and all this. And everything he tried to tell me about lawn care was just completely and utterly wrong all the time. And I just kind of shook my head. Yeah, fine, whatever. Yeah. Dude, I'm not kidding you. He started getting on like the lawn forum and getting on to some of the Facebook groups and all that kind of stuff. Not a joke. Within the next month, he had a Lesco spreader. He had a John Deere greens mower. He had spent $600 in sand to level out his lawn. He went from like 0 to $1 million in no time. Like, I knew how much all that stuff was. That he spent $6,000 on lawn care related equipment and supplies all within a month. Because it will happen to you, folks. It will happen to you. You will get into this game, and it's like I would know, but I would imagine it's like taking, say no to drugs. It's like taking one of those for the first time, and you just get hooked, and then you just keep buying, and then you're wasting money on something that you really don't need. And I'm not kidding you, man. I watched this guy just jump in head first. I don't know if he's still doing it. We don't live in the same neighborhood anymore, but I was completely flabbergasted at how bad he got bit by all the stuff he was reading online. Joe, I'm talking. Shut me up, man. I got something else for you when it comes to that, but we got to get to our sponsor tonight.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks again, everybody, for being here. Make sure you subscribe to Joe's channel. I've got it linked down in the description of the live stream. I also have a link to the past live streams, a little playlist. If you're missing those, go check those out. Lots of good stuff there. But speaking of good stuff, Joe, this is such a great deal. People just can't believe it. They're talking so much about it. It's one of those. It's such a huge thing. It's one of those lawn care products that if you don't have it, you gotta get one. What is our sponsor selling tonight?
This is the Don. This is my Trump probes. We go deeper than any others. Mine is huge.
Wait, it's got a code tonight, Joe.
Everybody, this is the 45th president of the United States, and my promo code is Gold Standard. That was a horrible fucking accent.
You started turning into like some Irish trope.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I think he's Scottish, so it's close enough.
So when we started doing this,
I was practicing earlier today.
Were you in front of the mirror like going for it?
No, I was in the car.
In the car, I'm sure the people sitting next to you at the stoplight.
And I'm doing the fingers and the hand. You know,
you got to get the circles.
Yeah, you gotta get
and they got to go in and out. There's this dude on YouTube. I think his name is Matt Friend. He does a bunch of impersonations. Look this dude up. His Trump, his Howard Stern. It is incredible. He does a Mitch McConnell that is hilarious. I think his name's Matt Friend. Check him out.
There's a guy on TikTok that does Trump, and he goes to like McDonald's and things like that, and he orders. It's hilarious. I mean, it's really good. I envy those people that could do those accents. I mean, the impersonations, and it's amazing. It really is. Really talented.
John, you read my mind. I was thinking this sounds like an Irish Arnold Schwarzenegger mixed with a pinch of Alec Baldwin doing a Trump impersonation. It was Joe, you're multi-talented. That was many celebrities all in one. No, so when we started doing this show, I had this idea. I think I'd seen it somewhere, much like we've seen some of our other ideas. As Joe put it, sometimes you just steal things that someone else stole from somebody else that stole from somebody else. And I told Joe I want to have a sponsor for the week. And because if you know anything about mine and Joe's channels, we're not sponsored by anybody. We're not beholden to anybody. We don't do any of that stuff. So to have a humorous sponsor every week, I thought would be funny. And little did I know that Joe was going to hit a home run almost every single week. I have not even had a chance to come up with a sponsor, because before I can even push into broadcast on Tuesday nights, it's like he's already got the next one in the can. So Joe does a heck of a job coming up with these.
Someone reached out to me today about another sponsor for next week.
I mean, when I saw this, when I see the show sponsor pop up in my email, I'm always kind of excited to see what it is. And when I saw this one, I was like, this is funny. I mean, if you don't think this is funny, what's wrong with you?
This one took a little bit of work to edit this picture. So do I want to know? Do you guys want to know what he was pointing at other than the probe?
No, let's leave it up to the imagination. It's like when you were a kid and you wanted to steal your mom's J.C. Penney's catalog. It was all up to the imagination.
Maybe we'll have since we're taking a break, maybe we'll have two sponsors.
Ooh, yeah, we got to make up, because they're lined up at the door to be selling us stuff. Hey, look, Joe, 22 in the chat. Please, y'all, hit that thumbs up. Make sure you're letting us know you're in the chat. All that jazz really, really helps. I had a science teacher in the 9th grade, Mr. Hankins. God, I love that guy. He was so awesome, but he used to always say, and all that jazz. I've never stopped saying that. I had him in the 8th grade, loved him so much, and took him again in the 9th grade. Promo code should be Go Brandon. Oh, gosh. Hey, for some reason, Joe, I have a feeling that a good chunk of our audience is down to clown on some Trump humor from time to time.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey, we're getting into that campaign season, so we'll be seeing a lot of ads out there.
I know we're a little bit thinner in the chat tonight, which is no surprise, because our friends over, I think they're our friends at the Grass Factor. All their fanboys aren't sitting there salivating, trying to see what stupid things Travis at Budget Lawns is going to say to make himself look like an idiot. But hey, I really wish they would jump on a little bit more from time to time. It's a whole lot more fun when we have people in the house that don't necessarily agree with us all the time. Just like last week, Joe, not a lot of people agreed with you on your coach pitch thing. Did you kind of reconcile that in your brain after the show?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, everyone's gonna have their own opinion. I still have my own opinion. Um, we're just trying to be a little bit. You talk. We had the top five of five last week, and you said think about the top five of like things that your parents said you did or something like that, and that you say to your kids or something like that. And um, I went back and I was just thinking about, like we're trying to be a little bit different with our kids, to how our parents raised me. My dad was very tough, strict on me, very tough love. I mean, that's what he grew up with two other brothers, and so I'm trying to be a little bit different than him, and
Would
we're
you?
just trying to we're trying to encouraging our kids to be more independent, make their decisions on what they want to do. Like especially like my career. My parents kind of convinced me to do something, that will get me a good job, and have a good job and not maybe pursue exactly what I wanted to
How
do in
old's your
life.
pops?
He is 61.
Oh, so
So, yeah.
he's quite a bit. My dad's about to be 71, but it just seems like that used to be that generation's. I mean, that's just how they operated. There are so
Yeah.
many options out there. In the when we grew up, I mean, I graduated high school in '03 and college in '07. We didn't have the opportunities from a digital standpoint like kids have today. I mean, that's what you look for. Okay, I got to go get a degree because I have to go get a job. And now the
I tell
opportunities are endless. It's incredible.
I tell you what, everyone give a congrats to Travis. He's done the school year, and props to all teachers out there. My son was telling me a story about this kid in his class today that was throwing glitter and throwing glue sticks on the ceiling. And I'm just like, I'm thinking, God bless this teacher they have.
It's
Like,
you
oh my God.
people say all the time, well, they get 2 months off in the summer. It's like I said that too
I
because my
think
wife was a teacher
you age how much?
until I became a teacher because
Yeah.
you at this point in the year we got out today. We're finally finished. We
Whew.
got our checkouts done. We don't go back until the first week of August, but that's just enough to kind of just come down from everything. And then before you
Yeah.
know it, it's time to go back at it again. But I have the next 2 months of lawn time, sleeping in time, sprinkling time with my sprinklers. I finally got my sprinklers out for that's a weird way to say it. Sprinkling time. I finally
Yeah.
got my water sprinklers out the other day. It got some water on the lawn because, dude, it has been dry. You said it's been dry there?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's been we'll get into where my spots are dry here. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
we got that coming up. Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's like actually right now it's like 60 degrees. Do I have No, I don't have the window open, but it was a really nice breeze. Um it's just weird the weather like this time of the year. It's normally pretty warm, and this year has just been cool. It's been, I don't know, might have gotten up to 80 over the weekend. And my kids are still trying to like desperately, get me in the pool. And I'm like, I
What's the water temp sitting at right now?
like about like 60
Oh
degrees.
shoot!
Yeah, I mean, it's not like,
They opened
I,
our community
yeah,
pool, like our neighborhood pool, and overnight lows have been in the 50s here with daytime highs getting like right around 79 or 80. And
yeah.
the kids wanted to go this past weekend because it was open, but we couldn't take them because there's no way we could get them to understand that pool is going to be like an
Uh,
ice box. Like they
well,
can't get in.
my kids are like, go in the hot tub, then go in the pool. I'm like, no, that's going to make it 10 times worse. And I mean, I sucked it up. I went in there for a little bit, but my oldest, he don't care. He just wants to go in the pool.
Yeah.
So
It has been, man. We've had temps in the 50s at night. Daytime highs only around 80. So the Bermuda has been. I can always tell how fast or slow it's growing on whether or not I need to edge, like trim my mulch bed areas and edge along
mm,
those to put a crisp edge on them. And I have
yep.
not done that in over a week. Cool temperatures. We had not had rain in a week and a half until this afternoon, and we got something I wouldn't even call it measurable rainfall. It probably didn't even put a tenth of an inch of rain in the rain gauge, but we at least got something to like cool the lawn off. But with cool temperatures and no rain, the Bermuda has freaking, even after putting down a round of fertilizer, it's doing nothing. It is
Yeah.
really slow going. It has been such an odd spring. Dry,
Yeah.
cool. I don't remember one like this. We were already in the full throes of summer at this point last year. It was ridiculously hot and dry. Oh yeah, the nutsedge nutlets, nutsedge and the clover. The clover when it gets dry, even though it's kind of cool, it starts checking out. So hopefully some of those will become fewer visible in the lawn. Joe,
Yeah.
I was hoping we would see some of the folks in the chat.
Yeah.
We
Hopefully they'll like I said, if you're watching, comment. Like, don't be afraid. Like, I know there's 25 people watching now. Say hello, stop in. So I mean,
Ben, I couldn't agree more, man. Public swimming pools and hot tubs are disgusting.
yeah. Well, most public swimming pools don't have hot tubs.
No, hot tubs are so gross. They're just like cesspools of like bacteria that just sit on the pool, like the deck, and you got it's just disgusting. It is just disgusting. I was hoping that, what's up, Brett? Bob, what's up, man? What is going on? Go ahead, Joe.
Last week's show, we had a couple of you guys say, if you have a lawn, you want to, feature it on our show, we'll throw out the picture. We did Super TA last week, otherwise known as Bill. He lives in Jersey by me. Sweet ass lawn, looks great. So a couple of you guys messaged me on Instagram, Waterboy Productions. My DMs are open, so message me and send me a picture of your lawn. So Travis, if you want to throw up the first one, he messaged me actually during the show.
That was awesome.
I said, hey, we'll get you up there next week.
Yeah, and look, we basically had to beg a little bit last week, and I think it worked, Joe, because we want to highlight some of y'all. And our first person to highlight tonight is, and I haven't seen him in the chat yet, but I'm hoping he pops in here tonight, is John L. Man, has he got it popping with some green, Joe.
Yeah. Hey, it's not the clearest of pictures, but like it just looks super thick. I'm assuming it's probably tall fescue.
That's what I was going to ask. Did he tell you when he sent it to you?
He didn't. Yeah. So if you do send me, I meant to message him back and ask him what type his grass was, but yeah, if you do message me, let me know. So I'll put that in there at the bottom so we know. But yeah, I mean, look, it looks like he's got his backpack sprayer out in that little. Oh, there he is. I'm here, but I'm tired as heck. Hey, John.
What's up, John L? Lawn looks awesome, dude.
What? Yeah. Comment what grass type that is, because it looks. I mean.
Joe, you there? I lost Joe.
Here.
Okay, we got him. I'm going to finish what you were saying, Joe. I think you were saying it looks like you've got a tall fescue. Is that what you were asking, John L? Joe?
Yeah, I was asking him if he's got. If he's got tall fescue, and it looks like he's got tall fescue
and a little bit of KBG, not much at all. 97.3. Hey, John L, looks freaking good.
And he's on a corner too, so I mean that looks great.
So I got to ask. It looks like you've got a little barrier there. I can imagine you probably get people that try to cut that corner off there, or is this a newly seeded lawn that you're still trying to get established? Because sometimes folks will kind of put up a little barrier to keep people off the lawn if they're trying to get a new lawn up and going. But without a sidewalk there, I bet you get a lot of people try to cut that corner and take off through your lawn. So I don't blame you there. I noticed the downspouts as well. It looks like Ben said something. Hey, I'm a huge proponent of moving the water where it's supposed to go, especially from your gutters, because my old house had gutters that emptied out into my lawn. New house has gutters that empty out through pop-up emitters into the front yard, and they go down the hill with the rest of the storm water, and I ain't kidding you, it makes a massive, massive difference. Huge difference.
And by the way, guys, go give him a follow on Instagram. I mean, he's got some other good pictures on there as well, so give him a follow.
Yeah, definitely. John L, keep up the good work, man. I'm sure you, being on a corner lot like that, I'm sure people are rubbernecking like hell when they drive by. They're probably like, dang, look at that dude's grass, man. That's awesome. Appreciate you sending that in. We've got one more tonight, Joe. Man, it's fun to have more than one, and I hope he's here. I haven't seen him in the chat yet, but he was here last week, and man, another solid looking stand of turf. Joe, what turf type do you think this one is?
This is probably Kentucky bluegrass, really short, or Bermuda. I don't know.
It looks a little lime green for me to be
Maybe
Bermuda.
rye?
I have no idea. Do you know where
He-
Lawn
I get- yeah,
Experiments was
I get-
from?
I can look real quick. I don't know if it was on his. I did a big purge of social media last week, so I probably am not following everybody like I was before. So,
Dude, it gets tough. We've had that conversation before. You know, a few years ago, before COVID hit, 2000. I agree, Bill. I think that looks a little bit like KBG. It doesn't look. It's too lime green to be Bermuda.
One of his posts is his tag is Nebraska. So
Definitely a cool season. Maybe some rye.
Yeah, it doesn't. I'm looking at a couple of his pictures or things, and I'm not seeing a label. Well, his one has KBG on it with Everest Kentucky Bluegrass as a hashtag, so looks like probably Kentucky Bluegrass, probably.
You know, people ask me all the time, "Hey,
give this guy a follow as well, because he's got some really great pictures as well on his." So,
and that's what this is all about. Some people post stuff online just to share it. Some people want to get more deep into the social media side of it and be influencers, whatever you want to call it. But if you want to share your pictures, send them to us, mybudgetlawn@gmail.com. Joe at Waterboy Productions, he's on Instagram. You can send it to him there. You know, people ask me all the time, Joe, they're like, hey, if I send you a picture of my lawn, can you tell me what grass type it is? And looking at a small picture like that, I mean, you can make some guesses, KBG, you can say ryegrass. But for me, when I'm trying to determine what a grass type is, it's easier to tell if you can put your hands on it and see how it's growing. Is it clumping? Is it spreading? Is it coming up just one little shoot at a time, one grass blade at a time? It's really hard to tell in pictures sometimes because sometimes zoysia has kind of a lime greenish looking look.
It does.
And
you like touching it.
You got to play with it. You got to caress it. You got to pet it.
Kind of figured you were one of those people that like playing with it. So.
What is that on? Is that on Tommy Boy where he's going, you got to pet it. You know what I'm talking about? That scene in the movie. Oh,
he was what a great comedian.
Oh my gosh, he was one of the best. There's a I think there's a documentary, and speaking of documentary, we're gonna get to one in just Pretty Bird. Dude, Billy and 4C. I didn't. It took until Dumb and Dumber 2 to realize his name wasn't Billy and 4C. It was Billy in 4C. Who would have thought? Did you know that? I've never seen Dumb and Dumber 2, but I heard that from somebody.
No, I didn't know that.
Yes. It's some Italian Billy and 4C. Okay, now I'm sidetracked. We're going to talk about a documentary, but I think Chris Farley. There's a documentary on Netflix about him.
Probably, yeah.
I was bumming my coworkers Netflix while we were in school because we showed the kids some documentaries in our film classes, and Netflix is cracking down.
Yeah,
they're like, no more. They got to be in your family if they're not in your household.
Yeah,
we're charging more. So he told me before we finished the school year, I told him, don't worry, I'm gonna log out because
Netflix.
They're cracking down.
And they're cracking down. They're cracking the whip.
They are. Hey, I want to go back. Hey, thanks again for sending those in. I hope Lawn Experiments jumps on or watches this on the replay so he can see his lawn. Let's give all those two fellas a round of applause.
Yeah, let's have some more in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So guys, message them in.
You got 2 weeks to send us in some pictures, so no excuses. If you weren't here off the top of the show, we're taking a break next week. Hey, send the pictures to me or Joe. Joe, do you want them coming to you? I don't care. You can send them.
Yeah, I don't mind. You can DM me, Waterboy Productions. It's WOODER Productions, or Boy Productions. So yeah, message me. I mean, that's how these two guys got them to me. And like I said, they literally messaged me right during the show.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah,
that was awesome. Hey, Tyler, you make a good point there. You could use some advice. So, hey, We're just a couple amateur pros doing our best. We'll try to do our best to give you some advice. Just take it for what it is, though. A lot of the advice, especially that I give on my channel, I just tell about my experiences.
Yeah.
I make no bold claims about being a professional. I don't make any bold claims. I even say it in my about section on my YouTube channel. If you're looking for a turf grass professional, leave. I'm going to share with you about what my experiences are, where I've seen success and where I haven't seen success, and take it or leave it, but we'll absolutely do our best if you send us a picture. Hey, and with that said, Joe, I wanted to say one thing, because off the top of the show, we were talking about a friend, an old friend that spent $6,000 on lawn care equipment in like a month. And I was mowing yesterday, just getting just a cut in. It's not been growing much, so I've been just cutting it every 4 days just to take the tips off. And I started thinking, and I even thought I would do a video about this, but I thought, you know what, this might be a really good budget water show topic of conversation, because I am going to bet there are a lot of people in the chat that maybe have gone down this same path. And it's almost a path of, it's a path of excitement and accomplishment to one that's more like discouragement and no joy. And then there is a way to like go back to that excitement and accomplishment again. And so I was sitting there mowing my lawn yesterday, and I've got some clover, and I've got a few other weeds here, a few pieces of crabgrass coming up. I've got some field grasses that are from the field behind us. And I'm sitting there mowing, and where I would say maybe a year or two ago, if I would have seen those, I would have been damn near hyperventilating. And now when I see those, it almost looks normal and it's okay again, because here's how kind of my experience at least goes in the life cycle of lawn care. You get into it because your lawn sucks, right? You have no idea how to take care of it. It is a weed wasteland. There's hardly any grass there, and all you want to do is just kind of have a nice lawn. You don't want to have like a terrible lawn like you've got, and you don't really care to have a golf course lawn. You just want to have something that you can walk in without your shoes on, your kids can play in, and you can kind of be proud of it, which is what I've got right now. A Bermuda lawn being cut around 1.5 inches. It's got a few weeds. It's comfy without the shoes on, but it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But here's where that little word of caution comes in. Once you start getting it just a little bit better and a little bit better, that all starts growing legs, and it keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And then all of a sudden, that lawn you wanted is nowhere close to good enough at some point. Am I making sense?
Yeah, preach. Just like everyone tells you, preach.
Preach. Then it becomes to a point where the lawn that you were striving for the entire time is nowhere close to good enough, and it has to be 100% perfect. And then that's where the enjoyment level starts going down. That's where the obsession starts going up. That's where the worrying and the anxiety and the over-checking and over-analyzing of everything starts coming into play. And I'll be the first to admit, that was kind of me over the past year or two. You know?
Yeah. I can relate. I can relate a little bit, and that's why I've changed my mentality, this year. And I'm trying to do less and, just live with what it is. I mean, if I have a couple spots right now, we'll get into it now, that are, a little bit of an eyesore to me, but I know that it'll bounce back eventually. But if 80% of your lawn looks good, well, it's better than 30% of your lawn.
Good point, Joe. It's like a Mark Cuban always says on Shark Tank, like 20% of a watermelon's a whole hell of a lot more than 100% of a grape, right? So you got to set this like level of expectation that if 80% or 85 or 90, or some of you will say 100, but just I hate to use the word content, but you better be satisfied with that. And one reason why I started thinking about that even more, Joe, is you said that you purged a lot of your lawn
social media
creators. And I think that makes it even more difficult, right? Because you're busting hump in the lawn and you're making these huge strides, but it feels like no matter how much better you've gotten it, there's always these immaculate lawns displayed all over the internet. In other genres, it's people's buff bodies, it's girls' hot bodies in bikinis, it's cars, it's food, it's anything that people like to follow. And I've had to do the same thing over the years, Joe. I've just had to kind of quit watching as much of the lawn care content because I stick to the ones that I relate to, and that's where you got to find the ones that feel like you resonate with it. And I'm not saying that's us; it might not be us, but it is worse sometimes just finding those ones that not necessarily preach everything you want to hear, but at least you feel like, hey, that's kind of like me. You know, am I making sense?
Yeah, you are. I mean, when I had last year, when I guess you could say when I was not making, nice comments about some people, someone actually got a hold of my place of employment, and it got all the way up to my owner of my company, and he just said, like, whatever you do outside of work is fine with me, but just social media at the end of the day, he's like, just it's I forget what he called it exactly. I think he called it like poison, or he called it whatever. And he doesn't go on social media either. I mean, he tries to stay off of it as well. And it's nothing but,
it can bring you up and it can tear you down really, really
it
quickly.
And some of the names that people can call you and things like that, it's just disturbing, and it's just not right. And and that's why I did what I did, because it's just, I'm happy with my life that I got now, and I'm happy doing this every week, getting on here, talking to you and everybody else in the chat, getting to know those people as well. Um, it, it there's like I've been saying probably since the start of us doing this live stream, there's more to life than just grass. I mean, grass it can die, it will come back, but the stuff, the other things in life, memories with your kids or your wife or your family, like those things you're not going to be able to get back. Those are the things that you really need to focus on as well.
I'd like to think one day when
know,
the kids have families of their own, and I'll have that time to do like Bill says right here. There's nothing wrong, and there's nothing wrong with striving for perfection and like to meet your goals, because I would imagine every one of us here probably has some, if not some, a lot of like competitive spirit in us. And I saw that Ben said
I'm a big sore loser.
It's a pride thing. And a lot of it is more competition within myself and not necessarily other people. I'm trying to kind of prove to myself and compete with myself to see that, to show myself that, man, I can accomplish this. And that's really how I got into lawn care. I was terrible at it. I knew nothing about it. So it was a new hobby to pick up to kind of prove to myself that I could make it happen. And now I'm kind of coming back down from that to say, hey, look, 85% of my lawn looks freaking awesome right now, and that's good enough.
I was the same way with the permanent LED lights that I did. I built everything in the house, and it was kind of a thing, like a prove to myself kind of thing that I could do this. I have very little electrical knowledge. I did a little electric in my house when we first moved in, but I never tackled anything like this. Watched YouTube videos, got in the Discord for it, asked questions. A lot of it I learned on my own. A lot of trial and error. Thankfully, I didn't electrocute myself or light the fast on fire. And you know what? It worked out. It looked great. And then I just got a little too obsessed with it. And, one line of lights turned into around the windows, turned into arches, turned into doing this part.
That's me with my Christmas lights.
So, but like, I felt good after, doing it, getting it, saying to myself that I did it myself. I did, the kids enjoy it. So, but yeah, I kind of moved on to that from that now.
Well, we've talked.
I might circle back around to it.
Well, later. we've talked a whole bunch on this show before already that both of us played sports. Like I growing up so competitively in every sport I could play, and not to toot my own horn, but to also be really good at them. Like I was very blessed with athletic ability and ran some in college for the University of Arkansas. I was a multi-time state champion in track and field and as in team sports and cross country and track and field. So I know what it feels like to have had that competitive success. And once you feel that, you can't let it go. So sometimes there's this misconception that we do things to brag and to show other people. And at the end of the day,
A little bit. I mean,
there
it's
is
not.
there's part of we
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with
there's
bragging a little bit, but it's
there's
not.
nothing.
But it's
It,
also about being transparent with people as well. I mean, if you're doing something to your lawn, doing a renovation, don't be afraid to show the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that's kind of what I was trying to prove to people last year. Like some of these people out there, they look like they have the nicest lawns in the world, but they don't show us the good, the bad, and the ugly. And it's a little misdeceiving at the end of the day.
well,
You know,
I got a lot of flack last fall because I let my lawn go to hell. I mean,
Ben, I'm not in Arkansas. I'm
I,
in Jersey. So
he's in Jersey.
if you want to see a Griswold,
I'm the Arkansas Griswold right
yeah,
here.
go check out, if you go check out my YouTube page. I have I do have some of the light shows that I did to songs, and Christmas Vacation is one of the songs, so go check it out. It's really cool.
um, I let my lawn go to crap last fall because school started back up and college football started up, and it goes right along with this conversation. I was having more fun watching college football on Saturday than spending my weekend out in the lawn. And when I got home from school, I was too exhausted to go out and throw sprinklers out and take care of it. Now, that day will come back, I'm sure, but for right now, I show those things just for the reason you just mentioned, Joe. I show those things on my channel to be like, look, I go through the same crap. I'm not going to sit here and only show y'all videos and pictures when it's looking pristine. I'm going to show you that, look, it can go from pristine to a dumpster fire and back to pristine. It all just depends on how much work and effort you're willing to put in it, because a lot of the times, the nicest lawns you see, what you're also not told is how much work it actually takes. And I know we got people in the chat that will tell you the reason why their lawn looks the way it does is because they work their tails off. They work their tails off. The lawn isn't the big. Hey, I get it, Brett. And one day, I'm like I said in a video I made this past fall, I'll never say never when it comes to a robot mower. It's just not the time yet. I'll say yet. Right? Hey, thanks for all the feedback, guys. We're getting a good chat going.
Yeah.
Joe, should they give you some feedback on your old Memorial Day lawn update?
Sure.
Joe, I see something that sticks out in this picture, and hey, folks, no one saw your boy in a picture yet, and I have been in one already. So
Two, actually.
I've been in two. Okay, so keep those eyes peeled. Make sure you're looking for me. Joe, I am curious about a couple things in this picture, but let's see if you point them out before I ask.
So I don't normally do stripes. So this was an anomaly. I'm sitting on the front step with my drone. What else could I point out? And then my front along my driveway there, it's looking very dry right now. And actually, this is why you got to get out there and you check your sprinklers. Like I just assumed when I first started up my sprinkler system, I made sure all the sprinklers were running. There was a couple of the MP rotators that were spinning correctly, so I replaced them. And I have one down at the corner of the driveway there on the left-hand side before the sidewalk, and it was just angled just too much to the left, and it was kicking out into the street where that mailbox is. And I happened to have the sprinkler on when I was outside, and I'm walking around, and I'm like, shit, I really need to walk around. I need to make sure that nothing got turned, nothing is shooting in the wrong direction. And that one, I moved it just a little bit, and it's already starting to come back a little bit. But I am upping my watering time right now because it's dry. I mean, we haven't seen rain in at least probably almost 2 weeks now.
Jeez.
And when I say rain, not like a sprinkle,
you
like
mean like good, measurable rainfall?
Yeah, like a good heavy rain for like an hour, a couple hours, whatever. Not a quick hit storm, thing.
There's the rainfall that the lawn actually benefits from, and then there's the rainfall that's just enough to piss you off. that
Oh yeah.
that coats the grass blades right before the sun goes down. Hardly any of it works its way through the canopy into the soil, and then you're just sitting there going, I wish it would have just been dry. I mean,
Yeah.
it's almost like a nice syringe of the lawn, though. If you don't know what syringing is, folks, it's like when you go play golf, if you're a golfer, and on a hot day, you'll see the guys out there watering the greens in the middle of a 95-degree day. They're not watering it to irrigate it. They're watering it to like almost like create sweat on it to cool it off. It's just giving it a drink of water, because a lot of times you'll have bent grass greens. Like we have bent grass greens down here in the South, and they're not suited for the hot days we get in the summertime. So some greens have to have fans on them to get air flowing. They've got to go out and syringe them in the afternoon to just keep them cool, so they make it through the hot summers. Yeah, they do. They need green. The greens need fans. Joe, I'm not glad for you, but I'm glad that I'm not the only one that it's been dry. I got the sprinklers out this past weekend for the first time of the season, and just I watered for a few hours with a couple oscillating sprinklers and probably put down about a half to 3/4 of an inch across the back lawn. But typically this time of year, you're still getting some May rain showers. Not been the case. Yes, bent greens, man. It's tough because down there in Florida, Brett, in Florida, they can't do the bent greens down there. It's Bermuda greens, and they're just not as pure. They just don't roll the same. I mean, you can have nice Bermuda greens, but my old country club where I grew up playing as a kid had Bermuda greens and renovated them to bent grass greens, and it just changes everything. Everything. Yes, you got to read the grain right. Hey, Joe, I thought you messed up in this picture, your Memorial Day update. It's like, did he just mow like one side of the lawn? So you were doing stripes for fun?
I kind of like, so I did stripes going that way that you see there, and in the front of the house I did stripes going the other way. So you can kind of get it from both sides. It's just weird the way the sun was at this point, and when I was cutting, I really hate going up and down in the front of my house because I have a flower bed in the front, so it's a pain in the ass to turn around with the striper. So I'd rather just go the long ways, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other way, it's only 700, maybe 800 square feet on the right-hand side of the driveway there. And that, when you drive by my house, the flag's there. So, and you've really noticed that section more than the other front section, because normally I park my truck where the mailbox is at, like in that, or along that curb line. So you really don't see that as much when you're driving by. So every once in a while, I mean,
you got to walk backwards, Joe. That's what John says. You got to walk backwards.
I don't walk backwards. Remember, if you watch last week's show,
you're gonna get Joe cursing again.
Gonna get me all worked up.
He's gonna start cursing over which way people walk. One foot in the front of the other. Hey, Joe, I got a question for you. Let us know in the chat if you're like this. So at my old house, see how you have your sidewalk there? Do you do like a pass down and then over the sidewalk to the curb strip and then back, or do you do one side of the sidewalk and then the little vanity strip separately? Because I used to do them separately, and then I found out when I'm mowing that direction that you have in this picture, I can just cross the sidewalk, and it makes it so much faster and easier. I know that sounds trivial, but it really did make kind of a difference.
I do it separately. And actually somebody I did like a time lapse video of me cutting my lawn last year, and someone commented like, you cut your lawn really weird. And I'm like, because I just don't do like your typical, like go up, do the edge first. Like, cause I don't know. I've cut so many lawns in my day. Like I just have, you have your routine, you're
not out. Well, I guess if you make a video of it, you're kind of opening yourself up to that. But when you're out mowing, I'm just like blocking everything out. I don't even listen to music. I put some earplugs in, and I just
only time I listen to music is actually during leaf season when I'm blowing leaves. I don't know, there's something. Yeah, that's like or snow blowing. Like other than that, I don't listen to music when I cut the lawn.
Hey Joe, what is it with you and are these like the old Christmas?
The heat miser.
When did these become a thing in all your pictures? It's been like a couple weeks now, right?
Yeah. So, well, first of all, if my permanent LED display, I did the Snow Miser and Heat Miser song this year.
So
So
the heat miser is
kind
in
of,
full of force right now.
yeah. So like, so the next couple
Uh
pictures are going to be
oh,
like,
Bill is our champion tonight.
there you go.
Hey, tell me if I haven't seen any other comments before that, but I'm pretty darn sure
You guys suck tonight because he was in the very first picture tonight.
he
Like in John Nell's picture, the guy, the Instagram person that's in the picture, and he was in that picture. I mean, you guys are slacking.
he tried to he tried to make it a little bit more difficult so that we wouldn't
Yeah.
have a winner right away. But hey, Bill, send me an email, mybudgetlawn@gmail.com. Tell me Home Depot or Lowe's, and then that way I have your email address to, and I may already have it, to send you the e-gift card tomorrow to whichever one you want. Okay? Hey, Bill, look, man,
John, he's
it all
there.
works out, right?
You go back. He's there. It's very small, but he's there.
Hey, speaking of these giveaways, Joe, look, I made a post about it yesterday. Bill, I want to say thank you to Bill. Mitch also asked me last week. I wore a Budget Lawn shirt in the chat or in the stream, and people asked me where they could buy one. I used to cut the vinyl and press them myself, and it just became something else I had to do, and I didn't want to do it. I wasn't doing it to make money. I was just doing it because some people said they wanted a shirt, and I wanted some shirts like this one. Well, Bill reached out and Mitch reached out, and I didn't want to get into cutting and pressing them again myself. So I went ahead and I set up a little store with only 5 different designs of t-shirts. I put a link on my community post yesterday. I'm waiting on it to get integrated into my YouTube channel. But here's what I want to do with any shirt sales that I get to keep above what Bonfire makes, because when you do these third-party printing services, they keep most of it, and I get just a small fraction. And I'm not trying to profit off of this venture. So what I want to do with that small bit that I get to keep is add that up over time and really do some cool giveaways. And by cool, maybe e-gift cards again, but actually more than $20, like $50 or $75 or $100. So we'll let those add up so that we can take that money and give more away in e-gift cards. Okay?
Pat, come on. It's not like that. You know us better than us. Come on.
If I was worried about merchandise, I'd designed these t-shirts in Illustrator 3 years ago now, and it's I don't want to have to work for it. It's not my job, but I looked into all those other third-party websites. Bonfire was like the simplest, like easiest one for me. All it offers is like t-shirts and hardly anything else.
Yeah,
but
we need a Budget Lawn drag mat. I think
yeah,
that's
yeah. But hey, I'm not saying that to like get all of you feeling like I'm trying to sell t-shirts because I want to make money. I'm saying that because Bill just won $20. Bill bought a t-shirt yesterday, and guess what? Bill got $20 to Home Depot or Lowe's. He got his freaking money back on his shirt already. So
cool.
It's weird how it works. It's like on the Seinfeld episode where George keeps finding things to even things out, or maybe it was Jerry, and they throw a $20 bill out the window and it comes back up because Kramer found it on the street or something. So it always has a weird way of working out. And it worked out for Bill tonight. He wins $20 to Home Depot or Lowe's. You're going to email me, Bill, mybudgetlawn@gmail.com, and I'll get that sent to you tomorrow. And that's what the proceeds from those t-shirt sales are going to go to. At first, I thought we might do some sort of fundraiser of some sort with all that, but I want to get back to y'all.
Travis, go back to Janelle's picture. I want to just show everyone he's there. It's very, very small.
Look, Joe's not going to make it easy for you.
I'm not going to make it easy for you. If you guys look all the way in the right-hand corner above the car, I mean, it's like super small. But if you look closely, he's there.
I'm there. Trust me. I'm there.
He's there.
It took me. I almost had to get a magnifying glass, but
It's small. I mean, I probably made it a little too small, but like, you know.
Okay, Joe.
Anyway,
Back to where we got derailed.
hot
Congratulations,
spots.
Bill. Congratulations, Bill. You are the winner of the gift card. Make sure you email me. And Bill gets his money back. Basically, Bill got a T-shirt for free. I mean, how cool is that? And that's the whole point in all this, guys. I want to give the little money that y'all use to support the channel back to you because y'all do enough for me. That's the least I could do. You do enough for Joe and I on Tuesday nights. I mean, this is a wee thing on Tuesday nights. So we want to show you how much we appreciate you, even if that means coming out of the very minimal that I'll make off T-shirt sales. All right, back to hotspots, Joe.
So I have a couple like weird hotspots in my yard, and this one in particular, you could see like the canopy. Well, not that one, but the other one.
Oh, shoot. You got me. I'm all messed up. Hold on. Because the pictures are so close to the same. Sorry, Joe.
Yeah, that's all
I'm
right.
screwing you up.
The canopy there of the tree there, the shade hits like it's just enough where that sun, it's blocking the sun coming down where the canopy's at, and it hits this one spot every year. Is just a hot spot for me, just because of the weird of the shadiness of the tree and the way that the sun hits in that spot. So it's always just dry right here. I don't know. I've upped the watering in that section, but it's just one of those things. It's just that's the south. It's almost is it the south facing side? I forget now of my house. Yeah, it's just weird. It's just one of those things. That's a big hot spot in my yard every year I deal with.
Well, there's also a lot of heat transfer too there from your sidewalk, Joe. I mentioned in a video earlier this spring that when people are taking soil temperatures of their lawns to decide when they're going to put pre-emergent down, they'll tend to go to the center part of their lawn when they should really be going along their sidewalks and driveways because that's where it's going to really heat up first.
And Pat, it's a hot spot for me because when we get a good dose of rain, that section bounces back no problem. So
so you've got history on this to tell you.
It's not a grub problem. I've digged there. I dug there. Like it's not like a fungus problem. There's around that area there. It's just something. It's hard to explain without actually. I mean, you can kind of see with the shade here. It's just kind of one of those things where the sun's hitting that spot. So I don't know. That's what I've seen.
If it happens every year in the same spot, you probably have a pretty decent grasp on it. What the heck is happening here?
So my neighbor, he has this like slate, I don't know what you want to call it, like a slate
border,
flower bed border. Yeah, border. That's a good slate border around his flower bed here. And again, we kind of talked about this with crabgrass along the curb line, where that sun's beating off of something. It's kind of reflecting, off of that slate, and it's always same thing, always in this spot.
It transfers the heat out into to that part of your lawn.
So my neighbor is dominating me a little bit there. So,
just the kind of domination you like, right?
But it's
Joe?
it's just one of those things, like
hey,
it's something you got to deal with in your yard, and like we were saying, 80% of the whole rest of my yard, I'm happy with. So
hey, if that's the worst of your problems, I'd say you're sitting all right for this point because you're about to get into the hot part of summer anyways, and it's going to be a challenge. So
I might try Hydrotain. I've seen a couple people say, John said Hydrotain there, and I might give that. I tried it before, probably didn't do it the right way, where you really got to get it down, you got to get watered in right away. I did use a Turf Titan actually sent me this thing that they're releasing this year. It's called a hydro holder. It's supposed to be, I don't know if it's supposed to be like a soil surfactant, so it's better, getting the water down into the soil. I put that down like a week or two ago, and really haven't noticed a difference. It's probably just, I don't know, clear liquid in the bottle. I don't know.
It's probably water. Pat's trying to pick a fight here. Pat, you're not going to let it go, are you? Here, I'll let you read them, Joe. Moment of silence.
I see them. I don't know. Pat, come to my house. Check it out.
Hey, Joe, your lighting looks really good tonight, Joe. Your lighting looks good. Did you do something different tonight? Is it?
I got the flag up here behind me tonight.
Hey, Joe's wooden signs. I'm really liking this. Like he mixes them up every week. Joe, we haven't gone to a wide shot of you yet. Joe, I'm putting you up. You got to check out the Bryce Harper jersey off Joe's right shoulder. That's pretty slick, dude. Joe's making all these on his Thunder. What do you call it? The CO2 laser in your garage. That's pretty slick.
This one's my grass sign.
It's pretty awesome.
It's a 2-layered piece too.
Doing all the cutting, painting, the whole shebang. Hey, maybe you want a sign. Maybe Joe's your guy to make you a sign. I don't freaking know, but if you want one, Joe is getting pretty darn good at making them. Hey, Joe, hot off the press, breaking news. I wish I had sound effects. Hot off the press, breaking news. It lit the lawn care YouTube, Instagram, TikTok community on fire today. It's ablazing. Not only is it ablazing, but my gosh, it's dominating, blazing. It's all these things because shit, this thing is expensive. What?
Yeah, I mean, so if you live under a rock or you're, not subscribed to a lot of people like I am these days, so Toro released today their Emaster, their Time Master Emaster. They're calling it. It's an electric Time Master. It comes with 2 of their 60-volt batteries. That's it. You get the machine, the bagger, side discharge, just like the old one, same size, whatever it is, 30 inches, I think it is. But it's $2,399.
It's crazy.
I mean, that is a lot. That is over $800 more. I mean, I don't know. That's why I put there in the middle. I'm usually the one that puts the graphics together, and that's why I put in the middle unlimited runtime versus.
Joe, if you need me to make that bigger again, let me know. I know the font gets gets hard to read.
No, it's just like the font, the little bullet points are just saying what's in the mower. The old Time Master had electric start. It had the blade stop, and obviously and they both have personal pace, which I love personal pace. I mean, I'll give Toro credit. I mean, that's one thing I love about their mowers is the personal pace. There's nothing.
This doesn't have that, does it?
It does. It does. Okay. Pace.
And I'm seeing Pristine said this. Pristine Auto Detailing said, "Man, my Time Master runs horrible when it's running. It's only 2 years old." Correct me if I'm wrong, folks, but I have heard a lot of not so favorable things about the Time Master. The only time I've heard the more favorable things about them is when it's obviously from the creators, influencers who I don't suppose they have to say good things, but they tend to say good things more than bad things. When I've not heard a whole lot of just, you got to have a Time Master talk.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about Time Master, and but the more
that's why I wore my Toro hat tonight, just to get under Joe's
drive
skin.
Me nuts.
Yeah, just to Joe's gears.
I hate the unboxing videos. It's like, all right, let's unbox the video, unbox the lawnmower. I haven't used it yet, but this is everything that it does. And
do you think at all, Joe, that all this, like, because they send mowers out to everybody? No, not this today. Hat was given to me, and if you know me, because I'm Budget Lawns, I ain't passing up a darn thing that's free, and this was free. Yeah. So I wear it. But do you not think that them shelling out all these and just the nature, and I'm not saying this is bad, folks, but if you don't think that somewhere in the chain of command or the system that at some point over the last 4 or 5 years, companies like Toro have been able to increase the price of their products because of some big-time creators over the years that have really made the Toro name a little bit more household. Do you not think that has something to do with this being $2,400? $2,400?
We've talked about this, offline between me and you, and I agree. I mean,
it makes people mad when we talk.
And I know there's people out there that just think I'm bitter because Toro's never sent me anything, and
you're better off without it, Joe.
Probably a little bit, but I mean, but at the same
Those days
time,
are behind you, Joe. Don't look in the
eh,
rearview mirror. Those days are
but
long gone.
I just look at it as like I put there, limited runtime because this battery apparently will last up to 60 minutes and like a quarter of
If
an
you need a
acre.
lawnmower that big, like
I
you need
don't
a little
like
bit more time than that, I would think.
well, so that's like probably straight 60 minutes without like so a lot of these mowers when you're mowing thicker grass, that it revs the engine up. So that engine's working more, it's using more battery. The battery life is not going to be exactly probably 60 minutes if that's the case. And I don't know. I just rather go to the gas station and get gas. I mean, I just that's how I look at it. Unlimited. That's why I put there unlimited power,
I filled
unlimited
up my
runtime
gas
versus limited.
tank last fall when I got one last round and put a little bit of stabilizer in it so I'd have some over the winter time. And because I'll put some with the fuel mix, the oil mix, so I can use my small equipment over the winter. I'm still using that same batch of gas. Like it just seems like
Yeah.
the run time and the cost is not there for me yet to make the change from gas to electric.
And I personally still don't think battery is as powerful as gas. I mean, that's just me. I mean, I know I'm getting ticked off again because somebody brought up a good point about selling out, for free products. I mean, I hate to name names, and
John
that's
L.
why and that's
John
why
L's right. He's right though, Joe. He's right. Right.
I mean, yeah, I'll take gas any day too, but um I just like if you're using four different mowers and you're getting like four different mowers from four different companies, like it's how can you give an honest review? That's how I just look at it. I mean, I don't know. I just we'll see how it goes. I mean, I love that it gets released today. Everybody, a couple of these people just release a video right away, and it's like, well, let's see how it does after a year. Let's see how it works after a year. Let's not just draw assumptions and just assume it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I mean, hey, if you want to go that route, the battery route, by all means. I've talked about battery in my past where, I leave my batteries out in the wintertime. I don't bring them inside. They don't work as well when you leave them out in the wintertime. I don't feel like storing them in my house, or I don't have a basement. I have a crawl space. I don't use my crawl space. Like I have a small house. I'm not going to store them in my clothes closet. Like uh, I don't know. I
Hey,
just well, I
here.
don't. I just hate like what's worked in the past. Let's just improve upon what's worked in the past. I don't understand this. I don't know if that's what I don't whatever.
Okay, here's a thought, Merle. I do like this. I love my battery mower. No old gas, no spark plug, no oil. Can hang it up during the winter. Here's how I deal with that. My dad gave me my Troy built TB130, 2017, so it's 6 years since I've had it. I have never changed the spark plug. I have changed the oil once. I had my friends at the hardware store changed the oil once in those 6 years, and I never waste gas because I'll throw a little like stabilizer in it for the winter time. But I think sometimes there's this idea that you have to maintain your equipment for it to last. Now, I'm not saying maintaining it doesn't help it. I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's bad to do, but I think you'll find that a lot of your equipment, and maybe I'm just lucky with this TB130, it is 11 years old. 2012 is when my dad bought it, and it rarely gets any kind of maintenance work done to it. I never spray it off with a hose. I never clean the deck underneath. And then I will get it back out in the spring when it's time to get the lawn season going again, and somehow it still works. So a lot of the
I
problems people see with battery versus gas or gas versus battery, it really just depends how you're going to look at it and what kind of stance you're going to take on it as far as the maintenance and the ease of use and the price. I mean, it's whatever floats your boat, right?
Yeah, I mean it does. Like I don't get me wrong. If you want to use battery, it's fine. I just really think a battery is more for a small lawn. I mean, I'm talking like 1,000 square feet or
A little
less.
postage stamp.
Yeah, like and you have really little storage room, and maybe you live I don't know, in a townhouse or something or whatever, and you or like a small rancher house or a starter house, and you're just starting out and you don't want to get a gas. And like I said, small lawn, I would just stay towards that.
Do you
I don't
not
know.
think that size of lawn is a huge issue, but it just seems like the Time Master was made so big to save time, and that if you have such a big lawn, you're gonna take more time to mow it, and if the battery doesn't last as long, so once you start adding some of these things up, it it kind of seems like once they sell a mower that's gas, they don't make any additional sales off of that in the future. But now they have a chance to sell you more batteries, sell you more accessories. Hey, if you can't get your yard mowed and one battery's charged, why don't you have a second battery on hand? And that's
I mean,
another $500. I don't
and
know.
I mean, don't get me wrong; these companies know what they're doing. I mean, it's a marketing. I mean, obviously they have their 60-volt battery. They want you to buy the blower. They want you to buy the string trimmer.
Do
They
you
want you
remember
to
when a
buy.
Maytag washer and dryer used to last people for decades? Now you
Yeah.
get a brand new expensive Samsung
Oh, yep.
refrigerator and it's out in
Oh yeah.
6 months and you got to get a
Yep.
warranty
Yep.
call on it.
Our Samsung, or I forget, it was a Samsung or LG, both. Well, actually, our washer went in like 3 years.
I
It
mean,
was
I might
ridiculous.
sound, I really don't know much about battery equipment, so I may sound really stupid and ignorant. But look, if I'm saying these things, maybe there's other people out there saying similar things or thinking similar things and just aren't saying them. But if you ask me, these are some of the thoughts that come to my head when it comes to how are these so expensive? Why is it so expensive? I mean, it doesn't make sense to me at this point, and that's why I'm not going down that road yet. Hey, Joe, you ready for your hot take? I feel like you've got just enough gas in the tank, just enough fuel lighting the coals to let them start getting
Well,
a blazing, right?
yeah, I mean, this kind of plays into all these creators doing these, talking about these e-masters today, and it's the promo codes. I love when, you got lawn care 10 or fescue freak 10 or girls lawn 10, and it's like 10% people, like seriously, like
Oh
like
yeah, it's $100
oh my
product, and I'm gonna
god,
save 10
10%,
bucks.
guys. 10, I mean, like, I don't know, just like it's 10%'s like and I mean, don't get me wrong, if you could save money, but like 10%'s like nothing.
Hey, I gotta
I mean,
admit, Joe, I went to a restaurant
I
today.
mean, we're tipping people. We should be tipping people,
Hey,
20% or
good
more.
job, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, like, like, I don't know. I just hate the promo code shit, like the 10% shit. Like, make it like 30% or 40%. Make it worth my while than a fucking like 10%, 15. I put 15% on there, but I really never see anybody 15%. And I just showed there, like, if a bag of fertilizer is 62.99, which one of the big, people out there, their bag is 62.99 right now, and their promo code's 10%, like $6.30. Like, that's in some places that might not even be a gallon of gas, like, or maybe last summer it might not even been a gallon of gas, like, I don't know, it's just
Hey, I did go to a restaurant on my lunch break today, Joe,
but
because they
like
gave
let's
they
like
give
let's
teachers a 20% discount, and that $2.
let's see some companies out there do 30-40%. Let's like I mean, and stop paying these affiliate people maybe like 6% commission or 7% or 10%
Prices, we've
commission.
talked about this before. Perhaps prices would go down.
Yeah, I mean, I just like,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Hey, here's a good point. Conrad Comics says more like I haven't seen the need for an expensive anything. Ego mower was only $400, tax and everything. There isn't anything I can think of that'd be worth $2,100 or more dollars. I've talked about it over and over, and not to sound like a broken record, but my Troy built TB130, I think when it was brand new when my dad bought it, it was like $300. It does not have any kind of self-propel, no personal pace, nothing. And that thing is still running after 11 years, hardly any maintenance, and it freaking works. I put a new, well, not a new blade, but I sharpened the blade, and it's amazing if you'll just keep your blade sharp. Even the crummiest, oldest, cheapest, whatever lawnmower, if it's got a sharp enough blade on it, will cut the grass just fine. And I've seriously toyed with the idea of doing exactly kind of what Conrad Comics just says, and going and buying the dirt cheapest lawnmower I can buy and using it for an entire season to show people that it ain't the equipment all the time. It's not because that lawnmower is far superior to any other. It is a brand name. That's all it is. Brands.
Conrad, do you own a comic book store? I'm kind of curious. I have a couple old comics myself. I used to be into comics when I was younger, but comment below if you are.
It is. It's the operator. I mean, if you're changing your direction, if you're keeping the blade sharp, if you're doing simple things to operate the stupid mower the right way, it doesn't have to be a fancy one with a big name brand. I think that might be a next season experiment, Joe. Go find the cheapest out of the box lawnmower that I can find,
or
and
go
see
on
how it
Marketplace
works.
and buy like a $20, mower off of Marketplace and see what happens.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I actually drove past a place today that they had a big sign out front that said, "We sell used lawnmowers.
We sell homes. Call this number." I love those signs.
Yeah, I may go to that place.
We'll
and see
buy
if-
your home with cash.
see if I can find a used lawnmower, some off the wall brand that nobody's really ever heard of, or maybe it's something so old it's not manufactured anymore, and see what I can pump out. Hey, last week, if you were here last week, I suppose some of you will remember this. We talked about TV shows, and then we kind of got into the documentary, which I have not seen Doghouse tonight. Who else was here last week that was giving us hell from Texas?
Yoki. Yoki Lawn.
Okie Lawn from Oklahoma. Okie Lawn.
Yeah.
He's not here tonight.
He's watching the other show right now.
Is he really?
The Tractors. They always watch those other shows. But anyway.
Joe, I challenged Joe. I say challenged. I recommended Joe to go watch a documentary. And I'm telling you, Joe has not given me any feedback yet, but it's one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. And it was the Pez Outlaw. So I'm curious to see. Joe told me he sent me a picture to prove to me that he did watch it. He was watching it when he sent me the picture, but he never gave me any feedback. And Joe, there are some wacky nutsos, weirdos, crazy people that spend a lot of money when it comes to lawn care. But could you believe people spend $10,000 on a piece of plastic, a Pez dispenser?
So it's funny that we talked about Pez last week, and I actually had an art teacher when I was in elementary school. He collected Pez, and he had it all around his classroom. I mean, he must have had, I don't know, 100 to 200 of different Pez's. And I didn't think about it until after we got off the show last week, where I would have probably brought it up. And I thought it was I thought they did a really good job of getting this guy who's the
Pez Outlaw.
The Pez Outlaw.
Is he not a hell of a character, though?
Oh my God! So I don't know.
And he did all his own reenactments.
That's the crazy part of it. That's what I liked about this documentary, was he's doing the reenactments.
And they tried to make him look younger, and they colored his beard. And it really felt like you were watching his story play out.
It was good. It was a little bit of a crazy story.
Now, who did you believe? Well, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk too much, because when I watched it with some people, we were talking about, who do you believe in this? Do you believe him? Do you believe the old Pez top higher ups? Who do you believe in this whole? It almost sounds like it's a fantasy of some sort. But if you have not seen the Pez Outlaw, you have to go and check it out. A Furby. Is there a Furby? Doc, I don't know. What's a Furby? Is that like those little?
It was a toy. Yeah, Furby was a toy back in the day.
Like the what was that scary movie back in the day? The
Gremlins.
Gremlins.
Yeah. It's something different. Furbies were like a little bird-looking thing. I don't know. I wanted to believe him. I mean, I at the same time, I don't know. It was tough. I don't know.
He sounded so convincing.
Tough. He did.
I mean, because he knew so many details.
He did.
But he could also just be one hell of a storyteller.
He could. I thought he was a great storyteller. I mean, apparently he started a blog, and that's what kind of got him back into the
That's
when he
how he
like
that's
went
how
off
he
the
kind of
face of
surfaced
the earth.
again.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I kind of thought it was pretty dumb of him to fax these things across the world and to Austria and just like assume that these people are gonna make it for him, and then spend all that kind of money up front to get this big order. I thought that was kind of stupid too. But
Just
have you seen
his
have you seen
excitement in his reenactments felt like when all those big U-Hauls showed up at his house on
yeah.
Christmas. I mean, it felt like it was really happening right then.
Yeah, it did. I thought it was some of it. I was like, wow, is this real footage? Like, from and have you seen Tiger King?
Yes, I have. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so I think like Tiger King is a big documentary on Netflix. What do you think between the two of them? Which one did you enjoy?
I like Pez Outlaw. Yeah.
Okay.
Tiger King hit that zoo is not far from here in Oklahoma, and a lot
Okay.
of his animals went to Carol Baskin's place in Florida, and they're
Yeah.
actually being rehomed to another wildlife refuge, like 20 minutes from here, from where I'm at right now. So it's in the news a little bit down here,
Yeah.
like Tiger King's cats are being rehomed. I can't remember what the refuge place is called. I'm drawing a blank. If I wasn't trying to think of it, I'd be able to tell you. But so we still hear a lot about Tiger King because of the proximity.
Yeah.
But
Carol Baskin's that bitch.
yeah, what a man. Jeez, that was a pretty. That was that
I love
that
that show.
documentary. John. I know I'm sound like I'm just like blowing smoke, but if you don't know about Northwest Arkansas, there are a lot of things that happen around here, and people just don't hear about them because it's Arkansas, right? But there's so much cool stuff that goes on here. You really, if you've not been here, you really got to come check it out. I mean, we have the Crystal Bridges Art Museum that was all Alice Walton's artwork. People come from all over the world to come to this art museum. It's incredible. I'm not going to go on about that stuff, but start Googling Northwest Arkansas. There's a lot more here than a bunch of hillbilly rednecks. Hey, Joe's, we're hitting almost close to an hour and a half, Joe. So I think we're at a good point where you said you've got two options tonight for the 5 with 5 left to go. Tell me, tell me your two options, and I'll pick one.
So one's really dumb, one's kind of not dumb. The first one is top 5 months of the year, and the other one is top 5 summer activities, trips, things you do when you were a kid growing up. Kind of because kind of he's memorialized kind of the unofficial start of summer. So I've kind of put two together just to.
Do you have 5 picked out already?
I do for both.
Or what? How about on this? Sometimes we ping pong ideas. Here's what I want to pick: summer activities, because you're right.
All right,
let's go with that.
All right. So since Memorial Day is the unofficial start of obviously summer, so top 5 summer activities, trips.
Don't touch Joe. Don't touch your microphone.
Top things you do for summer activities, trips, things you do when you were a kid growing up. For me, number 5, and again, these kind of pertain to me, not just like in general. So top 5 for me was go fishing, go golfing on the golf course. I lived across the street from a golf course growing up. We would be on there every day pretty much in the summertime, and we used to go on after the golfers got done. So there was both the front 9 and the back 9 had one section. They had a water feature there, and it was a big, like kind of like a man-made pond, and they had bass in there. Like they had like good sized bass, and we go fishing, and then we would even go golfing. We have our clubs, and we go on there, and we do a couple holes. There was a par 3 that we used to do a lot with, and then every once in a while we would have the cops called on us, and one time we had a couple friends get carried back in the cop car to their house. So
the good old days.
Good times
when you were arrested but not really arrested.
Yeah. Number 4 is Mr. Softy or Water Ice in our area. There's at least a couple that were close to me, and we used to hop on our bikes. We used to ride up to the shopping center, and the one we used to have Pops. Water Ice was the one. Rita's is big in our area.
Rita's, I've heard of
Yeah.
that. I know the guy who runs that outfit, believe it or
Okay.
not.
Yeah, it's good. I mean,
Long,
it's
long
really,
story. Long story.
yeah, it's really, really good water ice. And then Mr. Softy obviously was in our area. And then I think I brought it up a couple weeks ago. We had another ice cream driver. His name was
Skanky Steve.
Skanky Steve.
Skanky Steve.
Number three for me was Madden tournaments. So back in the day, you used to have a store called Blockbuster, and our Blockbuster, we could ride our bike up to again, we could ride up to our shopping center where our ShopRite was at, and a Blockbuster was connected to it, was next to it, and Madden always used to come out in the summertime. So what we would do is we would get in there early and we would hide the Madden tape behind like another tape. So other
You were
people
those
couldn't
little
rent it.
punks.
So other people couldn't rent it out. And then once we would have one friend rent it out, and then he would return it, and then we would have another friend rent it out, and then they would return it. So it was just a continuous thing.
And y'all all knew which one it was behind.
Yep. And then so we were just, and then like every night or every couple nights during the summertime, we'd be having Madden tournaments in a friend's basement. So
Hey, speaking of
number three for me.
keep that train of thought. You know what I saw people are doing, and this is pretty sick. Like if you know anything about the cost of golf balls, I mean, you can buy golf balls that are like $5 a piece, like a Titleist Pro V1. People will go into like Walmart and they'll take the Pro V1s or like the nice ones out of that box and put the sleeves of balls into a cheaper box.
Oh yeah.
And then they'll take that box up to the cash register and it scans that barcode. So they get the cheap price for the expensive balls. Like speaking of balls, I don't have the balls to do that. I mean, one, it's like theft, like essentially. I mean, they're paying for it, but they're not paying what they should be paying for it. It's pretty sick.
Well, we used to
Ben, how am I not? Ben says, "Ooh, that's a great idea." That's what comments are about in the chat right there. That is funny.
We used to collect golf balls on the golf course, and we used to try and resell them.
I haven't paid for golf balls in a long time. If you go out on the course and you hit one or two out into the woods, you can find 3 or 4 while you're looking for your own. All right, so number two.
Number two is playing games outside at night, like cops and robbers, just jailbreak. I mean, we were out till like 12 o'clock at night.
That's what I'm here for, Ben. Keep you on a budget.
Yeah. I mean, we used to have this one street that was like perfect for cops and robbers, and the neighbors, like they really didn't care if we were in their backyards or hiding in trees, or I mean, some of the hiding spots we fucking hit it. I swear to God. That number two, just playing outside. I mean, on a cool summer night, there's nothing like it as a kid. And number one for me, obviously in my area, very big, is going to the shore, taking day trips to the shore. And when I mean shore,
to the boardwalk, right, Joe?
To the boardwalk, to the shore means the beach in our area, the Jersey Shore.
The Jersey Shore. Did you watch the Jersey Shore on MTV?
I did. So I had a friend growing up. One of his roommates in college, his grandparents owned a place in Seaside, so we used to go there a lot. And we went to Karma a couple times, and the Bamboo Club that was there. And actually, one episode, my friends, you can see them in the background.
Oh, really?
They were there. We never went to Seaside Heights. Like I said, my Jersey Shore is Atlantic City and below, Atlantic City to Cape May. I used to go to Sea Isle every year. If you know Sea Isle, you know the bar Ocean Drive. It's a really famous bar. They have a thing there. It's called No Shower Happy Hour, where you obviously go right off the beach, don't shower, you go right there.
That's the way to do it, man. Of course, back in the day when we would go to the beach, you wanted to go shower, especially if you were single, because you were trying to go out and find the honeys.
Ocean Drive is legendary. Like it's Jason Kelsey. He used to bartend. And I don't know if he bartended or did security there back in the day, because he always wears an Ocean Drive shirt in a lot of his game day attire. And I've gotten almost in a couple fights in bars down there.
Don't do that. You're
But
too old for that nowadays, Joe.
no, not this is
That was
years
back
ago.
in the day.
Yeah,
No,
yeah. When I
now
was when I was DJ Joey B.
DJ Joey B, we got to show that picture to people. Back in the
We
day,
will.
though, like now when I go to the beach when you're with your wife and kids, the best thing to do is to be sitting outside as the sun's going down, not rush off the beach, to go
We used to
shower up and
yeah,
get dressed, go after everybody else has gone through the main dinner
after the
run,
lifeguards are
and
gone.
and you still got sand on your feet, little sand in your hair. You can still smell the sunblock or whatever it is. I mean, that's the way to spend the evenings on the beach. The days of going and getting all dolled up to try and find out where all the girls were in the evenings. Of course, once you get married, that all ends, and it just gets better when you're not having to go out and do all that kind of crap anymore. So I like that. You said that's called No Shower Happy Hour?
No Shower Happy Hour. There's a band
Nice.
there. They're called Secret Service Band. They've been there for years. Just these two guys. They do cover songs. They're hilarious. They're a lot of fun. If you're in the area, if you live in Jersey, I recommend going check out Ocean Drive. If you're in that age range, and and if you're maybe single, and you don't mind having a few, it's a great time. The Sea Isle City is a great town. It's just a family friendly town. My family we went there for years, probably over 20 years until my parents moved to South Carolina, and yeah, it's just a great town.
Hey Joe, I see a lawn question. Hey, thanks for the compliments on the show. Appreciate it. Bill said great show earlier. Thanks for the compliments on the show. We hope you're enjoying it, folks. We're saying that you got a little crabgrass coming up. You put down a pre-emergent, and sometimes it's just the game we play. You're going to put a pre-emergent down, and you're still going to get some breakthrough, and it happens. The key to crabgrass is, in my experience, as we mentioned earlier, you just have to get it early. The second you see that you've got a little crabgrass coming up in your lawn, little baby lime green crabgrasses, spray it. Because the more mature that crabgrass gets, and once it starts tillering, and if it ever gets to seed, you might as well just chalk it up, because it's really, really hard to kill with homeowner style products like you're going to find at the big box store. But if you get it when it's baby crabgrass, it's still pretty, I wouldn't say weak, but it's just not as strong as it would be the more it matures to fight off and compete against the weed killers. If you get it when it's young, you'll have more success in killing it off. And I've killed crabgrass off when it was little baby crabgrass. My favorite is Spectracide Weed Stop for Lawns plus Crabgrass Killer. It's in the orange labeled bottle. You got to be careful with it because it's not used on Centipede or St. Augustine. They have a purple label bottle for that, but it's got the quinclorac in it, which is the active ingredient for the crabgrass. So it will kill crabgrass. It might not kill it all on the first try. The bottle's recommendation is come back 2 weeks later if you need to do another application. But I have had really good success with that. And the key to it is just making sure you catch it early. Catch early. Yes, quinclorac, that is the active ingredient for killing crabgrass. Now, again, you just got to catch it when it's baby, because when it becomes adult crabgrass, it's going to be much, much harder. I hope that helps. Hey, I saw Lawn Experiments. Hey, Lawn, why don't you tell us, I'm going to bring you back up here because we had you up earlier. Tell us in the chat. We had some guesses going on. You were one of our Friends Appreciation posts tonight. We had some guesses in the chat. Pretty good guesses, I would imagine, that it was a KBG rye mix, perhaps. Tell us. Confirm for us. Is it KBG only? Is it rye only? Is it a little mixture of both? By the way, the lawn looks fantastic. Joe said you're in the Nebraska region. So we know it's a cool season grass, but well done, my friend. Well done. All right, Joe. Yes, Patrick.
Yeah, and by the way, I've gotten 2 pictures already from 2 people on Instagram. So like we were saying earlier, if you want to be featured on the show, send us some pictures, send them to me, Waterboy Productions on Instagram. Like I said, 2 people already. I'll probably put them together tomorrow, get them over to Travis. He'll sit on them for 2 weeks, on his lazy ass for 2 weeks. And
KBG only. Hey, Patrick, you nailed it, man. That's kind of what we were hinting at earlier. When you're getting your pre-emergent down in the spring, if you're one of those people that goes and sticks a soil thermometer in the soil to take temperature readings, don't do it out in the center part of your lawn. You're usually going to see that crabgrass around your sidewalks, your driveway, your patio, those concrete surfaces, because those areas, those parts of your lawn, that soil catches that heat from the sun that heats up that concrete, and it kind of radiates, it transfers out into your soil. So where you think you're timing your pre-emergent at the right time based off soil temperatures, well, if you're not doing it next to your concrete surfaces, you're getting the wrong reading, because odds are your soil is a lot warmer next to your sidewalk, driveway, patio, whatever it may be. And that's where you're typically going to see crabgrass outbreaks or breakthrough, because that soil was already too hot. Those things had already started germinating, and your pre-emergent was less effective there. All right, cool. All Everest KBG. Joe, we are way over tonight. Normally, I would be like, man, my alarm is going off tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock. We got to wrap this thing up. But guess what, Joe? No alarm tomorrow. I don't, not to rub it in or anything, but I ain't got diddly squat. Well, we got some errands to run. I got stuff to do. I can't not do anything. I just don't have to go to work tomorrow. Joe, what are your parting words for us on this Tuesday, May 30th, the final show of the month?
Like I said earlier, send those pictures in, smash that like button, guys. And remember, every last show of the month, we will be doing this giveaway. And I'll try to make the picture a little bit bigger this time. Next time around. He was there, guys. But and then just like Travis said earlier, we're taking a break next week. So Travis, enjoy your vacation.
So
that's much needed, probably. So
thanks,
like
Joe.
You were saying,
appreciate it. Yeah, we Ben, no show next week. We did this last month, and I kind of like it. We had our giveaway show the last week of the month, and we did no show the first week of the month. And then I think that's a nice little stretch of shows without getting too stale, right? Yeah, so maybe this becomes a pattern. For now, we're just going to let you know when we're not having a show, and we're not having a show next week. We'll be back. What is next week? Next week is the 6th. Is that when 6th. It is? So we'll be back on Tuesday the 13th. It'll be here before you know it, folks. Hey, I'm excited that people are planning to be here on Tuesday nights, and not having a show kind of throws them off. That's actually pretty freaking cool. So, hey, congratulations to Bill. Bill, don't forget to email me. I'll get you that gift card sent over tomorrow. Make sure you tell me Home Depot or Lowe's. And, folks, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Budget Lawns. As we say always to end things, thank you. We could not, wouldn't want to do this without you. If y'all weren't here with us on Tuesday nights, it would just be me and Joe. And as much as I like Joe, it really wouldn't be worth it. Am I off base with that, Joe?
No, it's the Budget Wooder show. It's not Budget Lawns.
Huh? What did I say?
Budget Lawns.
Did I say that?
It's all good.
My deepest apologies.
I see how it is.
The Budget Wooder show. That's it for this edition of the Budget Wooder show. Hey, guys, thanks for all your kind words. I got nothing left to say. We hope you have a good week, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Take care, friends.
See ya.